Hello friends, how you doing? Day 9:30. Hope you're doing amazing. I was actually going to come in and share with you something else, but I forgot. And so I'm going to share with you something I read from How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age. And so it's an updated book with updated examples from the classic. That was the first personal growth book I ever read. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And so, anyways, in one of the chapters, it talks about giving a fine reputation to live up to. And so we live in a in a cynical world where people, they will find fault with anything and everything. And my question is, how do you feel when somebody finds fault with you? How do you feel when somebody criticizes you? I know for myself, I don't feel good about it. More often than not, we know when we are not doing well, we're not trying hard, we're not showing up. And so criticism doesn't usually really, really help. And so by giving a fine reputation to live up to somebody, you give them a standard for them to actually shoot for and want to be like. And so in the example here, it talks about, let's see who, this Benjamin Zander. Okay, so he's a music teacher at one of the highest level of music, okay, in the arts. And so when you're at the highest level, guess what? There's lots of competition. There's lots of people who play it safe, right? And when you play it safe, you rarely are able to achieve your potential, even get close to it. And so so he's thinking, what can I do to get my students to actually perform the best, actually try to be the best? One thing he thought about is getting rid of the grades. But guess what? That'd be a huge challenge trying to get that pass with the head of the school, as I'm sure you can probably guess. And so, so he thought about this, and what he actually did was he gave each student an A. And he went to the students and said, hey, you know what? Each of you have an A in your course, okay? Automatic A. On one condition. Okay, you have to, in the next 2 weeks, write a letter to yourself in May, describing what you did to actually earn that A. Okay, and so obviously this is a different thought process, obviously, but what happened. Well, when he asked them to do the exercise, he told the students, he instructed the students to actually think, okay, think of yourselves in the future. I'm just reading this now. Looking back on all that you have done to earn such an illustrious grade. You need to discuss insights, milestones, and even competitions won. But the teacher wanted more than just a surface analysis. He's especially interested in the person that they will become by next May. He wants to know their attitude, the feelings, and the worldview of who they will have done and all that they had wanted to do. And so do you know what he got from his experiment? Let's see. Over the next 10 months, Zander watched his students transform themselves in astounding ways. He calls his approach giving an A. Okay, so he actually wrote a book called The Art of Possibility, which was actually co-authored by his wife, Rosamund Stone Zander. And so what he said about its potential to foster greatness is that an A can be given to anyone in any walk of life. To a waitress, to your employer, to your mother-in-law, to the members of the opposite team, and to other drivers in traffic. Obviously, I'm just adding this. You can also give an A to a sibling, a child, a colleague, right? It can be anybody. And he goes on to say, when you give an A, you find yourself speaking to the person, to the people, not from a place of measuring how they stack up against your standards, but from a place of respect that gives them room to realize themselves. The A is not an expectation to live up to, but a possibility to live into. Isn't that amazing? What type of world can we have if we start to see people with regards to the potential and not necessarily where they currently are at? I think that's much easier when we're looking at kids, right? Because we know, they will still grow, they're going to grow, they're going to become better, right? But how about adults? Why do we stop expecting or wanting people to be the best, to continue growing, right? And it goes on to say here, coaches, mentors, leaders, and parents often find that people live up to the expectations of them, no matter how diminished those expectations are. And so if a man feels unimportant or disrespected, he'll actually have little motivation to be improving. So why not create a vision of him that embodies everything you know he's capable of achieving, as well as everything you don't know about his possibilities? You'll rarely be disappointed. And that's what I try to do. When I see somebody, I want to see the best possible version of you. And you may not be there right now, and that's okay. It's kind of like giving somebody, shoes 2 or 3 sizes bigger. Because I find myself when I see somebody that way, I'm able to respect them more. Of course, through their actions, consistently, it'll show their true character and where they're at. But I choose to, some people may say I'm naive, but I don't know. I just choose to see the best in people. Until they prove me otherwise, I want to believe that you are an amazing person. Because that's what I see when I see each and every one of you. A person with a heart of gold, a person who has a spirit to help others, somebody who is wanting to make a difference while they're here on this earth, a person capable and deserving of love, who's worthy to be here. So many things. That's what I choose to see. And you know what? Rarely am I disappointed. At times I am, very. But it's rare. Very rare. Because people are amazing. And I think sometimes we get jaded by all the stories that we hear. But you know what? We normally and typically only hear about the negative stories. When do you hear about the positive stories? Right? We need to spread more positive news. Negative news sells. It gets eyeballs. That's why you see it so often. But there are so many good people. And if you're watching this, you're probably one of them. Anyway, the point of the video, of this live, is give people a fine reputation to live up to. And rarely will you be disappointed. Alright? I love you all, and I see you guys as superstars. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.